race against time to save 9 men stuck in a flooded coal mine. How long can they survive? Courtroom drama. Zacarias Moussaoui, the so-called 20th hijacker, pleads guilty, then changes his mind. What is he up to? Take the money and run. Congress reaching agreement on a corporate crime bill. But how cozy is the relationship still between lawmakers and big business? And Lifeline, the human growth hormone, prescribed for small children, popular among middle-aged Americans, now important new information about the possible risks.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. In the coal country of southwestern Pennsylvania tonight, families and friends of 9 miners are waiting for any sign of good news from a mine shaft where the 9 men were trapped last night by a sudden underground flood. The rescue efforts have been going non-stop at the Q Creek mine, which is about 55 miles from Pittsburgh. Authorities say tapping sounds have been heard, but they don't want to raise false hopes. NBC's Robert Hager reports tonight from near the mine site. Robert?
Tom, rescue workers believe they heard those tapping noises last just before midday today. They say if the miners are alive, they'd be crouched in a 4-foot-high shaft, 300 feet down, 55-degree water all around them. And tonight, there's a desperate effort to reach them. This is what it looks like at the scene of this drama tonight as rescue workers drill feverishly to drop down more hoses, already sucking up 10,000 gallons of water a minute out of the flooded mine. And starting now to drill one big hole to try ultimately to bring up the trapped men.
This is a very tricky and dangerous business, and I don't want to raise expectations.
Nearby at a firehouse, relatives wait for word. Some who've already lost loved ones in previous mining accidents.
It's entirely too much for one family to handle.
Here is how it happened at the Black Wolf Coal Company mine, which stretches more than a mile back into the hillside and 300 feet down. 9 p.m. last night, 2 9-man crews are working near the end of the shaft when suddenly, unexpectedly, one team breaks through to an old 1950s mine shaft, long since abandoned and filled with water. Now, that water pours through, inundating the startled miners. 9:05 p.m., one team, trapped, radios a warning, barely in time for the second team to escape, racing through neck-high water to safety. Midnight, workers and equipment swarm over the scene now. A drill bores down 300 feet and manages precisely to hit the air pocket where it's believed the rest of the miners are trapped. 3 a.m., when rescuers tap against a pipe lowered through that hole, they believe they hear the faint sound of tapping back, giving hope at least some of the miners below may be alive. So they start pumping air down that hole to breathe and to hold the water back. 8 a.m., the plan devised now. In addition to the first hole, drill more to suck up water from below. And finally, drill that big yard-wide shaft to lower rescuers. 1 p.m., trucks roll in with those huge hoses to pump up the water. 2 p.m., the big drilling rig arrives from the faraway West Virginia coal fields, now all working against the clock. And relatives?
I don't know if you can imagine yourself in this kind of a situation, looking at that site, knowing that underneath those drill rigs, about 300 feet down, could be your loved ones.
Tonight, workers believe they're doing everything they can, but admit the situation is perilous. So how could this happen, cutting into that old water-filled shaft? Maybe just old, inaccurate maps. They'll investigate later. Tonight, the focus is on the rescue, and they'll drill through the night. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's Robert Hager tonight. Miners getting trapped deep underground is an enduring hazard of that dangerous occupation, and the Q Creek flooding is a terrifying reminder that despite technological improvements and safety regulations, mining remains a very risky business. Here's NBC's Kerry Sanders.
Mining, still one of the country's most dangerous occupations. September 23rd last year, 13 men die in a coal mine in Brookwood, Alabama. In a series of underground explosions, some question even today whether that tragedy could have been prevented.
I talked about 31 unabated violations. That is to say, violations, but nothing had been corrected. It was on the record, and then we see the loss of life.
December 1984, 27 miners trapped deep in a Utah coal mine. Rescuers are turned back by a fire. All die before help arrives. Experts say the only way to ensure complete safety is
take the people out of the mines and somehow do it remotely.
mechanized mining is growing, which has helped make the industry far safer than it was decades ago. From more than 1,500 deaths in the 1980s, fewer than 1,000 in the 1990s, and 157 fatalities in 2000 and 2001. 36 so far this year.
The industry today is much safer than it's ever been.
But it took one of the worst mining disasters in U.S. history to bring about much-needed change. In May 1972, 91 men died in a silver mine fire in Kellogg, Idaho. That disaster led to the creation of the Federal Mine Safety and Health Administration and made breathing devices similar to these mandatory for miners to protect them from toxic fumes. But tonight, it's another danger, a flooded mine that threatens those 9 men trapped in Pennsylvania. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Miami.
And just outside of Washington, D.C. today, in a federal courtroom in Virginia, more surprises in the case against Zakarias Moussaoui, the man accused of planning to become the 20th hijacker. First, he said he wanted to plead guilty to some of the charges against him. Then he changed his mind. What's next? Here's NBC's Justice Department correspondent Pete Williams.
Zakarias Moussaoui came to court today intending to plead guilty to 4 of the 6 conspiracy counts against him. Those 4 could carry the death penalty and would require a jury in the penalty phase to decide the appropriate punishment. But the moment the judge started asking about the details, he began to hesitate. On count 1, conspiring to kill and maim Americans by flying an airplane into a building, Moussaoui seemed confused, willing to admit he was part of al-Qaeda, but unwilling to say he was even aware of the terrorist hijacking plan. That prompted the judge to say, "I don't believe you're admitting to the essence of the conspiracy." After asking for a short break to reconsider, Moussaoui told the court he had decided to withdraw his guilty pleas. The court-appointed defense lawyers say he backed down once he figured out that pleading guilty would require him to admit being in on the hijacking conspiracy.
The judge would not accept his guilty plea because he continued to maintain, as he has from the beginning, that he's not 9/11. He didn't have anything to do with 9/11.
And what you saw today in court is consistent with the way he's behaved in court every time. He said he was a member of al-Qaeda, but that he had nothing to do with 9/11. So that has not changed one bit.
Moussaoui's mother, who came from France to be in court, said she was relieved and glad to hear Moussaoui say that he'll now start asking his standby lawyers to help him find witnesses for the trial.
It'll open a door and he'll be able to cooperate more fully with them down the line. That's very important. He needs lawyers badly in a case like this because it's very complex.
So now the case goes on as originally scheduled, with a trial in the fall. And the fact that Moussaoui tried to plead guilty cannot be used as evidence against him. Pete Williams, NBC News, Alexandria, Virginia.
Now to the corporate fraud scandals, and another reminder that when the political heat is on, Congress and the president can move swiftly. The House and Senate passed a sweeping corporate reform bill today and sent it to the president for his signature. NBC's Campbell Brown is traveling with the president tonight, and she joins me now from North Carolina. Campbell?
Tom, no mystery here. The president has made it clear he will sign this legislation, praising Congress for its quick work here in North Carolina tonight at a fundraiser for Republican Senate candidate Elizabeth Dole.
Today, thankfully, the Senate and the House passed corporate legislation which will insist upon holding people accountable for being honest with the American people.
Now, despite the president's praise, there were parts of this legislation the Bush administration did not like, but Democrats, with the support of enough Republicans, triumphed. And a big part of the reason is politics, the growing public outrage over the corporate scandals, and fear that Republicans could be the target of that outrage in the November congressional elections left the White House very little choice, and the president tonight seeking to get his own share of the credit. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's Campbell Brown tonight. For all the tough new rules in this bill, a good deal was left out. Why? NBC's Lisa Myers has 2 examples of how even during the big push for reform, it's as business as usual for Congress and corporations. Part of our ongoing series, Take the Money and Run.
Lest you think Congress has turned its back on corporate America, consider this. Conspicuously absent from today's reform bill, what many consider the most pro-investor reform of all, requiring companies to count stock options given executives and workers as expenses. Why was that left out?
Powerful corporate interests made sure that didn't happen.
In fact, when Senator John McCain tried to bring up the issue, Democratic leader Tom Daschle, with the full support of Republican Trent Lott, blocked even having a vote.
Whatever side you are on the issue, the fix is in.
That is,
Daschle rejects the charge.
it's not only unfortunate, it's untrue. There's certainly no fix.
Both Daschle and Lott argue Congress shouldn't rule on such a complex accounting issue. McCain sees a different motivation.
Silicon Valley has made massive, massive tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign contributions over the years.
And speaking of campaign money, 2 weekends ago, after bashing corporate greed, Senate Democrats flew here, Nantucket Island, for a fundraiser at this beachfront estate involving 88 of the biggest companies in America. And how did they get there? Daschle, Hillary Clinton, and most others used corporate jets provided by FedEx, Eli Lilly, Bell South, Aflac. Last weekend, Republicans did the same thing. A fundraiser at the posh Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia with 68 companies. Don Nichols and Orrin Hatch and others all went on jets provided by FedEx, U.S. Tobacco, and Anadarko. What's more, some of the companies at both fundraisers are under SEC investigation for possible dubious accounting. Quest gave to the Republicans, Quest, Bristol-Myers Squibb, and Citigroup to the Democrats.
It's bad enough that senators go to fancy fundraising events in posh locations or go on corporate jets, but then hanging out with companies that are under federal investigation, that really takes the cake.
Both parties say they reimbursed for use of the jets, paying the equivalent of first-class airfare. And both Democrats and Republicans say they plan to keep the money from companies under investigation, unless they are found guilty. Lisa Myers, NBC News, the Capitol.
Up next, NBC News in depth tonight. In the middle of summer vacation, why are so many adults fighting over what's in their kids' school textbooks? Later, Lifeline, a new study about the long-term effects of human growth hormone on children. With the benefits, there are some very big risks.
Mom takes Metamucil to stay regular. I never will.
That's what you think.
I won't take a fiber supplement that can get thick and gritty.
That's what you think.
I found a better way to take my fiber. New Benefiber. It never gets thick or gritty, like Metamucil can. It's taste-free, too. Benefiber even goes with cereal or coffee. Mom can have her Metamucil.
That's what you think.
New Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to Zinc.
Using the wrong waterproofer can cost you thousands. Don't be taken for a ride. Demand Thompson's Water Seal. It has the highest level of water protection, guaranteed. Powerful original, new advanced Thompson's Water Seal.
You know when you're not feeling like yourself. You're tired all the time. You may feel sad, hopeless, and lose interest in things you once loved. You may feel anxious, can't even sleep. Your daily activities and relationships suffer. You know when you just don't feel right. Now here's something you may not know. These are some symptoms of depression, a serious medical condition affecting over 20 million Americans. While the cause is unknown, depression may be related to an imbalance of naturally occurring chemicals between nerve cells in the brain. Zoloft, a prescription medicine, works to correct this imbalance. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right. Only your doctor can diagnose depression. Zoloft is not for everyone. People taking medicines called MAOI shouldn't take Zoloft. Side effects may include dry mouth, insomnia, sexual side effects, diarrhea, nausea, and sleepiness. Zoloft is not habit-forming. Talk to your doctor about Zoloft, the #1 prescribed brand of its kind. Zoloft. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right.
Sunday, a story of broken trust, deception, and greed. The collapse of American companies. Take the money and run. Sunday, 7/6 Central on NBC.
NBC News in depth tonight. In the midst of summer vacation, when kids are taking a break from textbooks, a battle over those books now at a boiling point in Texas. At issue, whether the books somehow slant the truth. The outcome could affect what your kids end up reading come homework time. In depth, here's NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
My request would be that no book be approved unless it clearly defines republic,
What you're watching is a debate over what high school students in Texas should be reading in school.
There are many sweeping statements on Prentice page 456 without any proof to support them. This is called bias.
For years, conservative groups have complained many books contain a liberal slant.
There still is the political correctness and the whitewashing and the bleaching of our history that needs to be addressed.
What kinds of things do they want changed? According to the foundation, one high school history book says the Kennedy brothers played key roles in the civil rights movement. The criticism? This is excessive, that they spend as much time frustrating it as helping. Another example? Tourists and fur traders shot buffalo for sport. The criticism? Once equipped with repeating weapons, Plains Indians overhunted and engaged in hunting for the sport of it as well. So, why is this important in the $4.5 billion textbook industry? Because Texas is the second largest buyer in the country. So whatever books the Texas School Board approves will likely wind up being used in classrooms from Alaska to Arkansas. But critics of these groups charge them with hijacking the text in the textbooks.
What the right wing would like to do when it comes to history textbooks is essentially stop the clock at 1950.
Dr. Dan Shiras had his advanced science textbook rejected because it stated, among other things, that over 100 million Americans are breathing unhealthy air. The Texas Public Policy Foundation called that an exaggeration, misleading, and shocking vitriol against Western civilization.
Even though opposing viewpoints were often presented as well, they disagreed with those and then went on a witch hunt to find, basically to burn this book at the stake.
The foundation also succeeded in having this line removed from another textbook altogether. Most experts on global warming feel that immediate action should be taken to curb global warming. But these groups say all they want is for kids to get the best education possible.
Isn't it ludicrous that when parents and citizens get involved, review textbooks, and testify on concerns they have, that a group wants to call it censorship?
A heated debate that raises the question, how much influence should politics have in the education of millions of American children? Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Dallas.
And this footnote on higher education tonight from the Ivy League. Yale University has asked the FBI to investigate a computer hacking episode involving Ivy rival Princeton. At issue, the website that tells prospective Yale students whether they were admitted or not. Yale said it found 18 unauthorized logins that were traced back to computers at Princeton, including computers in the admissions office. Princeton officials said they were merely checking Yale's site to see just how secure it was. In a moment, the Pope gets a hero's welcome in Toronto.
Sorry about the dust.
Come on, guys, let's go.
After the new roomy 7-passenger Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak.
I left the bagels in the jet.
The new Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
You know, some people get heartburn so often they need a prescription every single day. What about the rest of us? For occasional heartburn, try Pepcid first. You take it only when you need it. Take Pepcid AC when you know heartburn's coming, and stop it before it starts. Or Pepcid Complete after heartburn's already hit. It stops heartburn fast and lasts all day. No prescription required. Pepcid. Just one, and heartburn's done.
Do dogs have a sense of humor?
Why does she sleep in the sink?
Does he look like me?
Can he outrun my neighbor's schnauzer? I hate fleas. What's the best flea protection?
Now that I can answer. Frontline Plus. It's the longest lasting, complete flea protection you can get. It not only kills fleas quickly, it also kills their eggs and larvae. It's the best.
Ask your veterinarian about Frontline Plus. For dogs and cats, Frontline is the veterinarian's #1 choice for flea and tick control.
Are Great Danes Danish?
We're pulling over a plumber's truck.
Sir, step out of the truck, please.
Is there a problem, officer? Keep your hands down there, sweetheart.
Well, well, well. This is suspicious. But I'm a plumber, so what's a plumber doing with professional strength liquid plumber clog remover? I admit it, I've used it on backed up sinks. That's pretty serious. Oh, yeah, you pour it in, it's like a missile. It cuts right through the water to deliver some serious power to that clock. Power? Clog's gone. Professional strength liquid plumber on tough clogs. Don't get caught without it. Donut?
That's not funny.
Alert. You have reached the end of the internet. You have seen everything there is to see.
Whoa.
Please go back. Now.
Experience the joy of DirecTV DSL. Call now and pay only $29.99 per month for your first 3 months. Call 1-800-BEST-DSL now.
I thought you were surfing the internet.
Yeah, I finished it.
On Wall Street today, a struggle to extend yesterday's dramatic rally that ultimately fell flat today. The Dow bounced up and down all session, but finished practically unchanged, down just under 5 points. Volume, once again, was very heavy. NASDAQ gave back almost all of yesterday's gains. It closed down more than 50 points on this day. In Philadelphia tonight, 2 accused kidnappers tried to run, but they couldn't hide. Tonight, both are under arrest for allegedly kidnapping a 7-year-old girl who managed to escape. Both men were captured before dawn, not far from where Erica Pratt was abducted on Monday night. Police said they had received telephone tips that both suspects were in the neighborhood trying to raise money to get out of town. There was a huge and warm welcome today for Pope John Paul in Toronto, a trip that seems to be as uplifting for him as for the 400,000 people who made a pilgrimage to see him. That story now from NBC's Keith Miller.
It was like the good old days. Pope John Paul II greeted like a superstar. Now 82, his appeal to Catholic youth undiminished by the spreading sexual abuse scandal in America, or by his age.
He's always said that we energize him, but he energizes us as well.
Speaking directly to the Americans in the audience, the Pope called September 11th the tragic face of human malice.
When hatred, sin, and death take command.
To world youth, representing 170 nations, John Paul urged them to choose good over evil, life over death.
Every message that he has always carries a message of hope and of love, and it's contagious.
World Youth Day has become a symbol of John Paul's papacy. He inaugurated the first gathering of Catholic youth in 1986 in Rome. A festival in Denver in 1993 attracted 600,000 people. And 2 years later in the Philippines, some 5 million people showed up, the largest gathering in history. Among the faithful here today, 55,000 Americans, not discouraged by the sexual scandals at home.
The faith has survived many people who've done worse things than any of these priests are accused of doing.
Vatican sources say the Pope is unlikely to raise the controversial topic on this trip. This is the Pope's most strenuous trip in years, with further stops in Guatemala and Mexico. And later this month, he makes an emotional return to his homeland, Poland. The Pope remains extraordinarily popular, and it's events like these that may help him keep going. Keith Miller, NBC News, Toronto.
In a moment, Lifeline. New reasons to question the safety of a hormone that some think can stop the aging process.
Lesson 1. It's important to manage the growth of a large breed puppy, because a large breed puppy grows up to 10 times faster than a small breed puppy. His body can even grow faster than his frame and stress-developing bones and joints. That's why Purina One brand is scientifically formulated to help manage your large breed puppy's growth, so his body doesn't outgrow his frame. Large breed puppy formula from Purina One. For a lean, active, and healthy dog, one can make a difference.
Drinking Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice every day can help lower your blood pressure.
Sunshine day, everybody seems so happy today.
Tropicana Pure Premium.
It's a sunshine.
Drink Pure Good, feel Pure Good.
You wait right here, Mark, and I'll get Diane. Diane! Diane!
Cheese it. Get your own box.
There's hot summer savings going on now at your hometown brand source store.
Shop today and save on name brand appliances, electronics, home furnishings, and mattresses. There are hundreds of Brand Source stores across America for your shopping convenience. For the best service, selection, and value, go to the source. Brand Source. Get hot summer savings for a limited time at your area Brand Source store. Your neighborhood appliance, electronics, and home furnishings expert.
Just a few more.
I should have used Preparation H.
Preparation H medicated wipes with aloe, the easy way to cleanse, cool, and soothe. Easier because they're 4 times bigger than Tux pads. Preparation H medicated wipes. Big relief.
Hi, grape nuts, please.
You know, it'd take 4 bowls of grape nuts to equal the B vitamins in just 1 bowl of total.
4 bowls. Dig in, Lumpy.
Special K, please.
That'd take 16 bowls to equal the zinc in total.
16 bowls. Eat up, sweetie.
Shredded wheat? 40 bowls to equal the calcium in total.
40 bowls. Chow down, big boy.
You need Total. It's got 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other cereal comes close.
Total, please.
Total for me.
We're out of bowls.
Total Raisin Bran. What are you getting for breakfast?
After NBC Nightly News, watch News Channel 8 at 6 with Tracy Berry and Joe Donlan, the Northwest's most complete local news. Live First Alert Doppler 8000 with Matt Zafito. And sports with Colin Cowherd. Watch News Channel 8 at 6. Celebrate our community and do something good.
On Lifeline tonight, the controversy over human growth hormones. It's been used for years to help treat the young and the old, but tonight, for the first time, a major study of the long-term effects of what some refer to as a fountain of youth. Here's NBC's chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
The study out today raises a red flag about growth hormone, a drug approved to help very short children grow and becoming popular among athletes who want to bulk up and middle-aged people trying to combat the effects of aging. Scientists in England followed more than 1,800 people who got growth hormone as children from 1959 to 85. In recent years, they've had much more cancer than the general population.
Specifically, there were risks around tenfold for colorectal cancer and Hodgkin's disease.
The scientists say those who got growth hormone as children need to be followed closely. But what about those taking it today? The researchers point out that the growth hormone used when the children got it came from human tissue. Nowadays, it is genetically engineered pure protein. Some doctors prescribing growth hormones say there is no danger. At the Cenegenics Medical Institute in Las Vegas, Dr. Alan Mintz says he has treated more than 4,000 middle-aged people in what he calls age management medicine. The program includes growth